Let's talk about something that's kind of wild. We're all told just make six figures and all your problems will disappear, right? But what if that's just not true? Today, we're going to get into this weird paradox of why making a really good salary can somehow leave you feeling more stressed about money than ever before. And you know what? That classic song lyric? It's pretty much a financial law of physics for a lot of people. It turns out as your income goes up, your expenses and your worries have a funny way of scaling right up along with it. It's the same stressful game, just with bigger numbers and way higher stakes. And this isn't some tiny niche problem. Get this, more than half of Americans earning over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. It's the literal definition of being on a financial hamster wheel. You're running faster and faster, but you're not actually going anywhere. So what is going on here? All right, so who are these people who are running so hard but feel like they're stuck? Well, to really get a handle on this, we need to meet a specific group that pretty much personifies this whole struggle. People call them the Henrys. A Henry stands for high earner, not rich yet. So think about folks, usually under 40, who have a fantastic salary coming in. They're cash rich, but they don't actually have a lot of wealth built up, investments, savings. They're asset poor. And they're usually juggling a mountain of student debt, trying to afford their first home in a crazy market, all while still climbing up the career ladder. And this quote just brings it all to life. I mean, here's somebody making $300,000 a year in New York City, and they're straight up saying, I'm on a hamster wheel. They know they're privileged, sure, but they don't feel rich. In fact, they have more money anxiety now than when they were broke in their 20s. That, right there, is the Henry experience. You see, the big issue here is that the six-figure dream we are all sold is basically broken. We thought it would be a finish line, but for so many people, it just swaps out your old money worries for new, much more expensive ones. If you're the first in your family to earn this much, yeah, you might feel rich compared to your parents. But then you look up and you see the millionaires and the billionaires, and that feeling just evaporates. The goalposts just keep moving further and further away. So, why does this keep happening? A huge part of it isn't just about the math, it's about psychology. It's about what's going on inside our own heads. So let's dig into the internal pressures that keep that hamster wheel spinning. Okay, first up is the biggest, sneakiest trap of them all, lifestyle creep. It's such a simple idea. The more money you make, the more money you spend. Your personal standard for what feels normal just quietly creeps up with every single pay raise. It's so subtle you barely notice it's happening. And here is a textbook example of lifestyle creep in the wild. A business owner named Marie Encontrera hits this huge revenue goal. And what does she do? She says, I've made it. I'm moving to Manhattan. And just like that, her rent doubled. It felt like a reward she deserved, but it also instantly vaporized a huge chunk of that new income. Now, connected to this is another fascinating psychological quirk called the Diderot Effect. This is what happens when buying one new thing sets off a domino effect. Suddenly, that one shiny new thing makes all of your other stuff look old and kind of crummy, which triggers a whole spiral of new spending. I mean, here's exactly how it plays out. It's so innocent at first. You buy a fantastic new sofa, but now that old rug you have just looks sad next to it. So you get a new rug. But wait. Now that lamp in the corner totally clashes. Before you know it, you've accidentally redecorated the entire living room, and it all started with just one sofa. And it's not just about the stuff you buy, it's about who you hang out with. As your income goes up, your social circle tends to change. Your friends are probably earning about the same as you, and the things you do together start to get elevated. Dinners are at fancier places, vacations get more ambitious, and the crazy part is you don't feel like you're being reckless with money. It just feels like you're keeping up with your friends. But let's be real. It's not all in our heads. There are some very powerful, very real forces out there that put a massive squeeze on even the biggest paychecks. One of the biggest is what I call the zip code penalty. $100,000 in Los Angeles buys you a totally different life than that same $100,000 in, say, Des Moines, Iowa. A lot of the best paying jobs are in these super high cost of living cities, and that premium you pay to live there can basically cancel out your high salary. Let's actually run the numbers, because this is where it gets kinda scary. Okay, say you make $200,000 a year in LA. First, taxes take a massive chunk, so you're left with maybe $140,000. A simple one-bedroom apartment, that's gonna be at least $36,000 a year. Then you've got your car, insurance, gas, boom, another $13,000 gone. Just like that, almost $50,000 has vanished into thin air. And here's the real kicker. That money that's left over has to pay for, well, everything else. We haven't even talked about groceries, your phone bill, student loans, clothes, maybe a vacation. You see how fast that huge salary can get shredded down to practically nothing? And the hits keep coming. Taxes are a huge one. Over in the UK, a £120,000 salary can lose almost $50,000 right off the top. So many high earners start their careers already deep in the hole with student loans. And if you decide to have kids, childcare costs can feel like you've taken on a second mortgage. It's relentless. Okay, so we've looked at the problem from all sides. And honestly, it can feel a little bit depressing, but it is not hopeless. So now we get to the most important part. How do you actually get off the hamster wheel and start building real, lasting wealth? This is the question that matters. Because it's not about just earning more money. That's just speeding up the wheel. It's about fundamentally changing your strategy and, more importantly, your mindset. It's a conscious choice to stop running and start building. All right, here's the playbook. Step 1, figure out your net worth. What do you own versus what do you owe? It's your financial scorecard. Step 2, build an emergency fund. Seriously, having 6 months of expenses saved up is the secret ingredient to actually feeling secure. 3, budget based on your values. Don't try to cut everything. Instead, pick 1 or 2 things that bring you genuine joy and spend guilt-free on those. 4, automate your savings as a percentage, not a fixed number. That way, when you get a raise, your savings get a raise too. And finally, number 5, squeeze every last drop out of your available tax breaks. And this right here, this is the core mindset shift you have to make. Feeling rich is all about the quick thrill of spending. It's like a dopamine hit, an exciting but ultimately toxic relationship. But being wealthy, that's about security. It's about long-term stability. It's a secure, stable partner you can count on. The real goal is to teach yourself to crave that deep security more than the quick high of buying something new. And in the end, it really all comes down to this advice from Marie. It's a choice. You can choose to stay on the hamster wheel, or you can choose to get off. And yeah, it means making trade-offs. Maybe you can't live in that perfect apartment right now or take that huge vacation this year. But what you're doing is trading those things for something so much more valuable. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you really get the difference between the fleeting feeling of being rich and the deep security of being wealthy, what's the trade-off you're willing to make to get that real, lasting financial freedom? Thanks for tuning in.